Thank you very much. First of all, I have to thank you all for coming for today's panel and for my speakers also that they had the long and difficult journey that they had because I know for almost everyone had some obstacles. So thank you for that. And also thank you for Zsófia that she agreed to be today our moderator. So thank you again. Okay. I will be quick because I have very limited time and this topic is very wide and I mean it's not as broad but it's difficult to understand if we don't tackle it from a very pragmatical matter. So for today I want to talk about the water supply measures in the event of non-payment. So do we have access and accountability, or these are parallel things or can go hand in hand together? This is a question that we will answer on the end, and maybe I will have some very not so nice remarks regarding this. So okay, today when we talk about this topic, sorry, I just have to open this because I will have some numbers and I can't remember numbers. Access to water. Do we have access to water? Do we have the right to access to water? I have to say no, we don't have. Not in the countries, even when in the constitution it is proclaimed that they have, like in Slovenia. We will have examples, so I will show you everything that I know. And today we will talk about how water services should ensure safe and clean water for citizens and businesses. And also we have to know that these services are primarily funded through water bills in all countries that we will talk about and in Europe, because my this article that will be published will be about Europe. So sorry, Gotte, I don't have, but if you can correct me at the end and add some of your country, I will be very pleased. And also I want today to talk about when the citizens can't afford the bills, what will happen? There is a cut down of water, or there is other possibilities or aids that they can be helped in this matter. So this question, access and accountability, is not just about tariffs, and it's not just about cutoffs of water, but also the human aspect as well, the human rights aspect as well, that I want to talk about today. So we will have today some questions and answers at the end. The main questions that I shared with you now will focus on social tariffs, if the country has social tariffs or not, because this is a very important question. If they have it, how they have it, and if they don't have it, how they manage these issues, because we will talk about countries that they have social tariffs and countries that don't have social tariffs. Can disconnections be banned? Can a country say, I will not disconnect water utility services, or can they have other measures to aid the problem? How common these disconnections are, and what happens before these disconnections? Do we have notices? Do we have visits? And what is in the law that these periods can happen, or if they will happen? What can we do instead of cutting down water? Do we have other measures? Because that is one crucial point from the human rights aspects, from this social aspect as well. And very important question, how long do these disconnections last? Because we have in law that they can last up to some days, but in some countries these days are not it's not lives up to the law. Maybe it's longer. It's mostly longer than keeping in the law what is in the law. So we will have examples. I will show the examples that are from Europe, and I specifically wanted to talk about these countries because they have their representatives here, except from Slovenia, because our Slovenian participant, because of illness, she withdrew, but I kept Slovenia in because it's a very good example of how they do things and if it's correct or not. So I categorized some questions that we will answer for every country, so 4 countries. So these are the questions in order. Disconnection policy for non-payment, if we have it or don't have it. The legal framework, very understandable. Conditions for cut-off due to non-payment. Also the number of disconnections and the duration of disconnections, because some countries provide these data, other they didn't, and I couldn't find anywhere these numbers. So and not even in the European sites they don't have these numbers. So for some we have, for some we don't. Also notices, letters, phone calls, notification about the disconnection, we have it or we don't. And very important thing, the operator visits before disconnection. I think this is a very crucial point if we have it and or not, and I will explain why I think this is a very important aspect from the human rights perspective. And also, very important question, do we have complete disconnection or we don't have complete disconnection? Do we have something like a restriction, like a minimum flow restriction or other measures that these countries are using? Availability of social tariffs for vulnerable customers, also a very good question. If we have social tariffs, again highlighting the importance of social tariffs, and if we have it, we don't really have it in these examples, we will see, but I have one where we have it. It's not Hungary though. So first of all, I want to talk about Hungary and the key aspects for these questions. So we know now the questions that I asked, and we now we know what the answers are for these questions. So in Hungary, this disconnection for non-payment is allowed. However, the utility must ensure that basic sustenance needs are met by providing a minimum water supply, such as 20 liters per person per day, usually through flow restrictions or other public access points. So what does this mean? Full disconnection is not available in Hungary. We have restriction, flow restriction of the water, which is great for people who are lacking the funding to pay these bills and still have the 20 liters per person per day to their basic needs. Basic, we are talking about basic needs. 20 liters per day per person is almost not enough for even the basic needs. So when they calculate with 20 liters per person per day, you have to think that is very, very little. They have to cook with it, they have to have the personal hygiene resolved with it, they have to have drinking water. So this 20 liters is almost nothing, but this in Hungary is still better than cutting them off entirely from the water supply. So we have the legal position, we have the Act 209 from 2011, and also a decree from 2013. So we already talked about a little bit of cutoff conditions. We have to have warnings and settlement efforts to fail to have these kick in, and water can be limited 60 days after the bill expires. the utility must ensure minimum access to water in Hungary. And we have examples also in different countries in Europe, like Austria, that they have these, and Ireland, and before Brexit, the UK, and also France has some aspects of it. But in the other countries that we will talk about, they don't have these. So disconnections per year, a few thousand disconnections. This is just an estimate. This is changing every year, and every year is a little bit bigger, this number, because of the struggles of people and the economy. So maybe this number will grow, probably will grow with time. Also the duration of the disconnection, it should be it's usually lasts till the payment is made, and these payments are usually made after 3-4 days, because people can't live without water. But people who are not affording to pay these bills, they can have limited access to water for up to, I don't know, very, very long time. And in the law, it says that after the settlement, the debt is settled, they have to reconnect them within 3 days. This is also true for Romania. They have to reconnect them after 5 days, but we will see it's a different story in Romania. So the other questions, notification, we have notification in Hungary, but we don't have visits in Hungary. So nobody is going out, checking on them and looking at their situation. That is, in my opinion, lack, because I think it would be important for these mostly vulnerable people who can't pay their bills to be seen, to be evaluated every time if they can't pay their bills. So the scale of this cutoff, as I mentioned earlier, and I am highlighting it here as well, there is no full cutoff in Hungary, just limiting the water utility service. So social tariffs, again, very important question. No social tariffs in Hungary, but we have socially disadvantaged customers can request the following options: payment in installments, delayed payment. This is in the Act 209 from 2011, so you can look it up if you want. It's not explicitly a social tariff, but it's something that can help. We don't have in Hungary a system like in Portugal. I think my colleague will talk about it hopefully a little. So we move on to Romania. Same questions. I will just say the key elements that they are very important. In Romania, it is possible to have as well. We have also legal background. The very important law here is the 241 from 2006. This is about water services and sewer services. So this is a very good law that covers the key issues of water services. And also it has some references about the cutoff situation, but mostly the cutoffs we can find in law number 51 from 2006. This gives us the main idea how the cutoffs have to work, what is the limits that these cutoffs can be allowed, and etc. etc. Alongside, we have concessions for major cities like Bucharest, and also we have here different time limits, different procedures. So this is also very interesting to see the difference between the whole country and Bucharest, how they are dealing with this, because in concession it's very different how they have these cutoffs and how they have the settlements after the debt is settled, how they will or will not reconnect these people to these systems, because we have cases, and it was at the ECTHR, the case Bhutan and Dragomir versus Romania, when they had their debt settled in Bucharest under the concession with Veolia. This is the company that was that has the concession in Bucharest, and they refused to re-bargain their share, and it was because and it's not settled in the case, but mainly it was because of discrimination, because we are talking about Roma communities in Bucharest that were cut off from these water services, and Veolia refused to bargain again with them, and in the end it wasn't Article 14 and it wasn't Article 8 that was a problem, it was Article 6, because Romania refused also to settle these problems with Veolia and with the complainants. So yes, they somehow didn't want to talk about water, they didn't want to talk about discrimination, and it's a sad story, but still it's a very important and relevant case when we talk about water services, cutoffs, and discrimination. So, cutoff conditions, we had point 3. Disconnections happen 5 working days after notifying the user, and it should be resumed within 5 days of payment. This not happens every time. We will have this at the point 5. So, disconnections per year, I could only find for Bucharest, and it's about 1,500 disconnections yearly. So it's not a huge number, but still, when we talk about the communities that are cut off from these services, it's a high number. Disconnection duration. It's very important to say that in Bucharest, only 27% of disconnected users are reconnected with an average of 66 days. What this means? It means that people are in such lives that they can't pay these bills, or this Veolia can't reconnect these people essentially in 2 months. So it's a huge amount of time without water. And remember, in Romania we have full cutoffs. So if they are cut off, they don't even get the 20 liter per day per person. So, and also I have an example from Constanța. Here it takes 89 days to be reconnected. 89 days without water. Just imagine the people and their suffering. So notification, we have visits also in Romania. I think also it's very important, the visits. The scale, it's... So here, if in case of necessity, interventions to prevent some damages or to remedy them, which exceed 24 hours, they can allow anytime cut-offs duration of maximum of 72 hours. We have limitations of it in different countries. We will see in Portugal that it's different there. So social tariffs, we don't have social tariffs, but we have also some regulations when we talk about disadvantaged and vulnerable people, and this was included in 2018. It was the law 241 from 2006 was amended in 2018 to have these the possibility for municipalities to provide social assistance to people that are vulnerable. Portugal. we come to a very interesting example. So also here it is possible. We have a lot of laws that regulate it, and also I think my colleague will talk about the law 147 from 2017, because this is about social tariffs, very important. So I'm very keen to hear about it. Cut-off conditions. Utilities must give a mandatory 20-day advance notice before disconnection. And they can also set up installment payments. This we have also in Hungary as well. Disconnections per year 0.5% to 1% per year. Disconnection duration 1 or 2 days, and very important, I don't know if it's in use as well, but no disconnection before weekends and holidays. So I think that's also nice touch. We also have notifications and visits, and the scale here, total disconnection, is also permitted. So social tariffs, we have here guidelines, and utilities offer social tariffs for low-income families and special rates for families with numerous children. Here we have a whole guideline to how to use these social tariffs. So it's very interesting to see that we have a very broad approach and maybe a more correct approach to social tariffs, and to help these vulnerable people. In my opinion, that is very important to somehow have guidelines that are in use and can be used, because when we talk about Hungary, Romania, or also in Slovenia, we don't have social tariffs. We have some guidelines that are not even guidelines, but some articles that say something, but who will use it? That's another question. So Slovenia, very quickly before I turn to my conclusions. So also it is possible, and very importantly, the legal background in Slovenia is important, because we have access to water, the right to access to water in their constitution, and we have a constitutional court case as well that ruled that disconnecting the water supply is a valid way to ensure payment and maintain financial stability for suppliers. So it's a little bit contradictory in my opinion. Disconnections per year and duration, I couldn't find any numbers. I searched every site that it was possible, and also they don't mention visits as well. So we have notification also here, that is somewhat good, and also again, social tariffs are not applied. However, municipalities and governmental social services can apply other social policies to instruments in case of need. And I am very quickly just concluding with some remarks, and why is this important, and why we talked about it, and how these connect with human rights aspects. So if people are disconnected from water, it's a huge consequence for that household, and if the reconnection takes multiple days, months, it's even worse for them, and it's deteriorating their life, and it's also discriminatory. In my opinion, the availability and extent of social tariffs vary widely across countries. So not just about what we talked today, but the whole Europe has very different approaches to these, and how they manage these and how they act on these. It's different and varies in every country. We should ensure transparency in how disconnection policies work and they are applied. That's why it should be the notification process, and also the visits long, and to have discussions with these people who are disconnected or who will be disconnected. And I think from the discrimination side, it would be good to flip the problem and have visits and see the people who are in need, and then turn to social tariffs, then to have these conversations with these people who can't pay these bills, and to have these to have a solution for this problem. Just quickly, I just want to say that disconnection rates are very low. So it's for non-payment. Disconnection for non-payment is very low. In Europe, it's 0.1% till 2%, and they are generally below 1% in every country of the total connections per year. Where the rate is higher, it's usually because we have multiple disconnections for the same customer. So and I saw somewhere that they said that they are repeat offenders. These are not repeat offenders. These are people who can't pay their bills because they have a disadvantaged community like the Roma community, or they have a problem in their life where we could as a society help them, and to have the basic need, the basic water to have for drinking water and sanitation to be met. So I would propose that gradual reduction rather than total cutoff would be nice, and I think would be more human, and or as Hungary, the 20 liter per day per person, it's even better than nothing. So I think it's a better approach, but I would say that gradual reduction would be the best. So start slowly, and also have a conversation with these people, and have these social tariffs and social help kick in when we have the problem, and not before that. So we have discrimination in these cases, and who are cut off, when they are cut off, how long the cutoff is holding up. So I think we need warnings, and escalating the punishment should be very gradual and very slow, because we still talk about people who are in need. Mostly. I'm not saying about people who will not pay because they don't want to, because that's a very small percentage. The big percentage is vulnerable people. So I think legal restrictions on disconnection would be nice, and we should also have payment plans and debt relief for people in need. And with that, I'm thanking you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please feel free. Thank you.